Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. Well, today I'm going to go on a mini rant, and I'm going to try to keep it calm, but I'm going to say what I have to say. The title of this video is Ain't Nobody Else Gonna Say It, so I'm going to say it. And this is about the knee-long boyfriend embarrassment. This Ime Udoka person. Black men have been running around here complaining for years about not being able to get head coaching jobs in these professional sports. White people have a specific reason why they don't like to hire black men, and I live in the South, so I hear what they say. These are the sorts of things that they always complain about behind closed doors about black men. They're always going to come out here and get involved in some kind of sex scandal with one or more white women because they are off the chain too. This is their concern. And I want to say this man is an immigrant. Black Americans have waited too long, worked too hard, and suffered too much for people to come in here and take these kind of positions and opportunities in a cavalier manner. He just went up there, and in 1 year, he had ruined himself and made black men look bad, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. You do need to have some self-control. You do need to know how to manage yourself in situations with women and with men. This man is attractive. He is successful. Women are going to come at him regardless to where he is. Women of all races. He needed to have learned how to manage himself in a situation like this. Black people have waited too long, worked too hard, and suffered too much for him to go up there and throw away an opportunity like that. And the very next time they need a professional football or basketball coach, they look over black men because they view them the same. Then everybody's going to start talking about how racist the NBA is, how racist Boston is, how racist America is. Well, yeah. America is racist, and you have to work within the confines of that reality. You're going in and doing stuff that you know is wrong. You know if you get caught, it's going to be a scandal, and then you go ahead and do it anyway, and you're 45 years old. You ought to know better. You ought to have better control over yourself than that. If you need a wife, if you need a woman, you need a relationship, then you need to get married to somebody who's going to commit to that relationship. That's what you need to do. You're coming over here taking advantage of opportunities that black people died for years back so we can have a chance. And then you get the chance, and this is what you do. And nobody's going to say anything about it. Everybody's talking about Nia Long. Nia Long's boyfriend. Nia Long didn't do anything. He did this. He did it. This is infuriating to me because I live in the South. I mean, I was brought up in the South. I was brought up in Alabama. I saw Governor Wallace standing in the door of the University of Alabama to keep black people out. I saw Bull Connor tear gassing black people and sicking dogs on black people just because people wanted to go and eat a hamburger at Woolworth's. We suffered in the South. I'm from the era where churches were burned and bombed. I've known people who got killed and thrown in the river. I know all about this kind of stuff. But people who don't know anything about these things take these opportunities that those people suffer for granted, and people who do know something about them won't say anything. Well, that's how come I said, ain't nobody else gonna say it, so I'm gonna say it. We went through the tragedy and the trauma of opening up the American society, and then everybody comes running here to the United States thinking they're entitled to what black people worked and died for. And then they get a smart-ass attitude with black Americans when we remind them of that. And then you go and throw away an opportunity. And it wouldn't make any difference if he was an African American or if he was just an immigrant. It's still too much opportunity to throw away. Too much suffering has gone in for black men and women to just go in and throw away opportunities like this. And get mad at the white people because you're not the first one considered when they get ready to hire somebody the next time. I mean, when do we hold each other accountable? Who do we hold you accountable for what our ancestors worked for? This is not something to play with. Martin Luther King was killed over stuff like this. Martin Luther King lost his life because he was trying to get the American society to open up for black people so we could work on jobs that paid livable wages, live in decent housing, and just realize the American dream. And it's not even that I'm trying to make a coaching job seem that important, but it's just the principle of the thing. Just throwing away what people thought was important. He thought it was important for a black man to have an opportunity to coach the Boston Celtics. That was not the case in 1968 when he was assassinated. And so the script gets flipped on black people all the time. They always go for what they know is the weak spot in black people. That gets played, and then we end up looking like fools, like you don't even appreciate what was done. And what white people will always say about black people, they don't really want that job. They don't want that education. They just want to be around white people. And they turn out to be right more often than they're wrong. Anytime you want a black man to look like a fool, just throw a white woman in the mix. Now, if that's his proclivity, that's fine by me. But don't take an opportunity that somebody else suffered for to satisfy your proclivity. So you can just have some basic looking white woman flouncing around, and the next thing you know, you've destroyed what you have worked for. He destroyed what he had worked for. He earned that job. He was qualified for that job. But he didn't quite understand how this system works. Those jobs are really for white men. That's who they want to have those jobs. They don't mind a black man coming in and building up a sorry team. But once that team gets going, they want you out and they want their own people in. That actually makes sense. It's understandable. It's just that sometimes we don't understand it. It's time for black America to start standing for what's decent again. We used to stand on our moral authority. We used to stand for something. We were taught to stand for something. And then when we get mixed in with these other groups of people, we start taking on their characteristics and doing what they do. Those things are never going to work for us. They might work for them. I hear these black commentators talk about if a white man if a white man can get away with it because he put the system in place. And he put it in place for him. He didn't put it in place for us. We have always had to stand on what was right. Adopting what somebody else is doing because it's wrong doesn't mean anything. Two wrongs do not make a right. And again, we deserve better. Black America deserves better than what we're getting from some of these people. We deserve better, and we should demand better. And there should be no excuses. When something like this happens, instead of focusing on somebody that is not about, we need to focus on who it is about. It's about the person that did something wrong. In this case, it's about this Ime Udoka person. And that's where the focus needs to be. We need to establish our right. For once, Black America, we need to establish our own what's right for us, and we need to stand on that. And it doesn't matter if a white man or the white woman can get away with it. That's not the point. The point is, it was wrong. It's the principle of the thing. When he gets a job that black people used to couldn't get, he got that through what we worked for. through our sacrifice and our suffering, and we have every right to say something about it. And I think all of us need to say something about it. Not focusing on whether or not Boston is racist, not focusing on whether a white man could do this and get away with it, and not focusing on Nia Long, focusing on the person that did something wrong. We should not be afraid to call a thing what it is. This is where the rubber meets the road for me. A civil rights bill had to be passed before a black man could be considered as coach of the Boston Celtics. And the black person who gets that position should respect that. Ain't nobody else gonna say it, so I'm gonna say it. Okay, thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.